For those of you that don't know me, because I'm a rare visitor these days at the running and walking club, I'm David Clark, your chair. I was the chair because I'm about to resign as chair and then have to be re-elected. The purpose of the meeting is in line with our constitution that we are required to have an AGM each year. Interestingly, the last one was on Monday the 7th of February, so we are actually a day earlier than last year, but that's quite amazing. The meeting will be very brief, I hope, unless we have lots of questions or a business raised under any other business. But normally any other business I've been notified about in advance, so hopefully we will go shooting through it, and then Connor will do the main business of the evening, which is what is new in 2023 for Cheltenham Running and Walking Club. So, the first thing we do need to do before we go through the process of appointing the management committee is to approve last time's minutes. The minutes are available on the website, etc. If you have taken the time to read them, Chris and I definitely did because we wrote them together. Has anybody got any concerns with the minutes? If not, it would be nice to have a show of hands to approve the minutes to get them done formally. Excellent, that's done. Right. Now, just to confirm, there are 22 people in the room, there are 8 online, so there are 30 members of the club are here at the meeting. That means we are quorate because we are over 10% of the membership. Otherwise, we will be having the meeting again another time. So we're a quorate meeting, so we are allowed to make decisions. The most important thing is appointment of club officers and management committee members. So that you understand, the officers of the club are appointed by, nominated by STS Fitness. There are 4 or 5 of us, and then there are other members of the management committee who are not necessarily called officers of the club. Again, in line with the constitution, clauses 4 and 5. We're going to do a little bit of fun now, because I will resign first. At each AGM, the full management committee resigns and has to be appointed or reappointed. But that doesn't work if nobody can run the meeting. So I will resign first, and then Chris will have me reappointed as chair, and then I'll go through the process. So I hand in my resignation as required. Chris, you need to run the meeting and have me reappointed, please.
Okay. I request the reappointment of David Clark as the chair. Can I have a vote of approval?
It's right, excellent. I'm back in place. The rest of the committee now will stand down, and very quickly we will reappoint them in bulk. The officers of the committee are nominated by Connor, and the other officers are the secretary, Chris, who's just stood down, himself as treasurer, and we have 2 welfare officers now, Rachel Walker and Chris Higgins. So the first thing we should do is elect those members, approve their election, because Connor has the right to nominate them. So, quick show of hands. Any objectors? No? Done? Right. So that's clause 4 of the Constitution. Clause 5 of the Constitution allows us to appoint up to 6 more members to the Management Committee, and that is a job for the Management Committee to be approved by this AGM. We have, as Social Secretary, Maxine or Max Shadwell, a running rep, Lee Ormerod, who is absent this evening. Walking rep, Chris is doubling up, or unless he's got a twin. And then we have a membership officer of Mary Owen. So we do have, at the end of the day, a room for 1 or 2 more if the committee at some stage of the year decide that they need somebody else to bear the load with them. So with your approval, we will nominate in block. This is under clause 5 of the Constitution. Any votes for? Excellent. No votes against. None online, I hope. We now have a new management committee. So we're now pucker. I will give an apology as chair, and I should have told you this before you re-elected me. We were duty bound under our constitution to have at least 3 meetings in the last 12 months. I have to confess we didn't achieve that because we did a lot of it using the running committee and the walking committee separately. So my apologies, we will try to do better in 2023. If not, I would expect to be kicked out at the next AGM in 2024. So my apologies, and this secretary will... Is that your responsibility? I'll take responsibility for it, because I don't want to pass the buck to anybody else. No, we won't kick you out. That's difficult, actually. There will be some other non-management committee roles which Connor and the management committee are allowed to elect during the year. They just don't have rights to vote at meetings, but they do carry on special responsibilities to help the committees the clubs smooth run. Do you need to mention any of them here, or? Here we are. Right. So we've done item 3 out of 4. Item 4 is any other business. Is there any other business that anybody would wish to bring up at this meeting? If not, we can call it the meeting over in record time, and we can get on to the real meaning of this evening, which is what's new in 2023. Thank you all for coming. Off we go.
Thank you.
Right.
So
you want me out of the way so you can.
yeah, it's up to you guys if you want to.
Oh, this
You'll
is
be
the side.
behind me.
Yeah, I don't want to be behind you. Down a bit of the press. Extended fitness.
Okay. So thanks for coming, guys. First thing I've got on my little agenda for tonight was actually to introduce some new committee members. I won't make you come up. Hopefully, a lot of you will know the names, but I'm just really excited. This is the most people we've ever had volunteering to help out with the club and how it processes things and improves. And I've said to the guys right from the start, to both the walking committee and the runners committee, that I see myself personally as the biggest limitation to the club. Okay, so if everything is on me, then the club can only be so good, right? So the more people we have helping out, especially if we have people who are in positions that they're actually quite excited about, then potentially they're even going to do a far better job than myself. So I'm going to read out a bunch of them. We already know the chair, the club secretary and Chris, the treasurer and myself, the welfare officers, memberships officer and Mary, and we have the social secretary, Max, who's here. Thanks for coming, Max. We've mentioned the runner representative in Lee Ormrod, who stepped up this year, which is fantastic. I don't know how many of you guys know Lee. He literally introduced himself to everyone, including the Culture 5K runners, so we're really excited to have Lee come on board. And Chris as the walker representative. Chris has been absolutely fantastic leading walks with me at lunchtime, but also taking on Saturday and Sunday walks to lead. So there's no better person, no better member in the club to really help provide feedback on what we could do to improve and what the members are saying about the walking side of the club. We've got a new running events coordinator, a role that we've never had in the club before. So Sydney has stepped into that one. Thank you, Sydney. Brilliant. This role is all about trying to get as many of our club members to running events. So we know that when we get lots of people to running events, we get lots of photos, we get members doing warm-ups together and just generally sharing that experience of being at an event together, which is almost like another social event. So I'm really excited to really build on our sort of schedule of the running events we've got. I'm also confident that with the walking committee that we can come up with some events to get people along to on top of the Saturday walks that we already have. The next one is a brand new one. This is the Sunday Club Runs Coordinator role. Okay, so as many of you will know, I don't or can't attend many, if any, Sunday morning walks or runs with the club. So it's fantastic that Dave Mumford has stepped up for that role. Thanks, Dave. So Dave's there regularly, and even if he's not, really the whole purpose of the role is to ensure that when people show up for a run on Sunday morning, that they've got someone who's looking out for them, someone who's maybe not recognising them or recognising them as a new face, so you can go over and welcome them and help them figure out what group they should be going into before they do their run. So a really helpful role. And I think, Dave, you've been doing it for a while, not in a formal capacity, and I don't think I've ever asked you, but thank you so much for all the help.
I'll just say that I don't consider this role to be an exclusive thing for me. I mean, I've noticed that other members of the club very generously approach people who they think are new members or new faces they've not seen before, which is great. I think that's to be encouraged. I think it's just that the fact that my name is like a point of contact. If Connor says, "Oh, I know there are 2 people coming on Sunday who are new to the group," okay, Dave, can you look out for them? That's really what it is, I think.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and that's right. You're not the only one who's been helping out on Sunday morning, so it's fantastic. And thanks to everyone who has. Another new role we have, I'm very excited about, is the lunchtime club runs coordinator. Okay, so often I'm doing walks with the club at lunchtime, but we've got Melissa who stepped into that role. So Melissa's a regular on at the lunchtime club runs. Again, another part of the club that we'd really like to foster and get more. So I'm looking forward to getting more feedback on how we can improve that and just widen the appeal for lunchtime club runs. So that's Tuesdays and Thursdays. Social committee members, we have had Sam Phillips, Steve Amos, Chris Higgins and Matt, as we mentioned, as well as James Finch, all step up to be on the social committee. So this is fantastic to have so many people volunteer for this position. We've got our first meeting later in the week, so I'm looking forward to that. And we're looking at getting Sydney in as events secretary to really help to really kind of make the running events more social. But looking at it as just another excuse to have another social, but also we'll be looking to get together lots of events throughout the year and just try and match what we've had in the past, if not surpass. The walking subcommittee, we've got Rachel Jeffries, Stella Jones, Carol Burrows, Francis Grant, John Reeford and Chauvin. I haven't written his last name, but I'm sure he'll forgive me for forgetting it. But these guys are great. We've already had a meeting this year, and it was really good just to sit down and just get their thoughts on the walking community that we've got at the moment and what we can do to try and improve things. And I think everyone's pretty happy at the moment. So thanks all that have pitched in there. The running subcommittee, we've also had our first meeting at the start of the year. We've got Mary Irwin, Dave Mumford, Richard Grover, Carol Stacey, Sean Williams, Greg Boys, Jackie Buscombe, Jeff Knight, Lee Ormrod, Sam Phillips, Thomas Cummings, Zoe Etherington, Trevor Moffat and Rachel Walker. So again, a big group of members, all nice wide range of abilities, so it'll be really good to get perspective back. And for the walking and running subcommittee members, please try and find out who they are, and if you have anything that either you don't like or you really do like about the club, please tell them, because one of their main roles really is to feed that back. So each time we have a meeting, that we get feedback from you, the members, and that we can look at what changes we can implement going forward. So that's everyone. I would like to have a round of applause for these guys, because it all takes some time. Okay, so what else have we got new? Something we've just started using quite regularly, and I'm embarrassed to hear that it's actually been in use for quite some time, is availability requests. So each time we run a social event, first thing that happens when we announce it is we just get, can't make that, I can't make that, I can't make that, and it's so frustrating. I'm not saying that won't happen in the future as well, but by putting out a link into a WhatsApp group, effectively saying, please click this link and let us know which of the dates that we've put in as potentials you can attend. Hopefully that's going to really help us to get more people attending these social events. And we've been using it for meetings as well. It's been really good just for figuring out the best date to meet. So I'm actually really excited about that, because it's a real shame when people can't attend simply because it's the wrong day of the year for them. Here's a big one. We are getting rid of sign-ups or bookings for club runs from now on. Okay, so I will still make it available through another system, but signup.com, the platform, I won't be continuing the membership with that. It renews in August, so we've still got plenty of time to sort of come down from it. But running club members will not be asked to book in anymore. Now the reason I've got that at the moment, just for the running side, is purely, well, there's a few reasons actually. One is that we always have decent attendance at club runs, the evening club runs. We know that every group is going to have a few members in it at least. There's WhatsApp groups for each speed group, so there's always a bit of chatter in there, who's coming along tonight. So it just doesn't happen anymore that we have one person from a group show up. So yeah, we don't really need that. We will still ask trialling members to book in through another app called Acuity Scheduling. Most of you will have had a phone call with me or booked a phone call with me over the years, and that's the scheduling app that we'll be using going forward. We did use that originally when COVID first happened, and we had to limit groups to 6 people, and so I'd limit the number of people that could book in to 6, and we'd have a 6:30 p.m. and a 6:35 p.m. and a 6:40 p.m. So it was really handy back then. But we'll mostly just use it for the trialling runners now. We will keep the bookings for walkers. Mostly the reason for this is we need the leaders to know that there's actually going to be people show up. And these days things are a lot more better with regards to knowing that people are actually going to show up for walks, but also it can influence the number of people we get, and kind of influence help. For example, me and Chris know how many steady walkers we're going to have versus how many medium walkers we're going to have, and let's just sort of plan the routes and things a bit more effectively. So certainly for now we're going to keep bookings going for the walks. What else have we got? Sunday morning. So this is another, well, I suppose it's a small change. We're going to bring the Sunday morning runners back together. So until now we've had a 9 a.m. start and a 9:15 a.m. start for the faster and slower groups. We're going to bring those together to 9 a.m. just so everyone's meeting at the same time. The numbers aren't crazy, are they, Dave? So it's just nicer to have everyone together at 9:15. The walkers will remain meeting at 9:30, so there's also actually less chance of a mix-up there, and we unfortunately did have one occasion a walker drove in to the entrance at the pump rooms and saw a bunch of people waiting to go, and so she rushed out of her car and ran to catch up with them, but they then walked and jogged away, and she followed them for quite a while, and they were walking and jogging, and obviously she got a bit frustrated, and I got a mouthful later on when I asked her how her first walk with the club went. So yeah, we can avoid that completely by splitting them further apart. And that wasn't the prompt for it, but I think it's another reason to keep them further apart. So that's Sunday mornings. The race events, I've already said, we want to make this a big thing for this year. Okay, we've got the new kit. We are more recognisable than ever before. Loads of members have got the new kit, and it's a great way for people to find us. Over the years, even with the old kit, we didn't have that many people wearing it. We still had people find us because of a number of members wearing the club kit. It's very easy to see Cheltenham Running Club on the back or Cheltenham Walking Club on the back, and to jump on Google and find us straight away. So it is a great thing, and the more events we can get members to, the better. We have started a bit of a schedule and a calendar of events, but we're always keen to get more. And the first thing we're looking to do is actually approach the event organisers and find out if we are to properly promote their event, and that potentially it could be 20 or more people, will they actually have capacity? Because the last thing we want is to promote an event and there's only 5 places left, and 5 people get in and the other 30 don't. So it's really important that we try and plan ahead, contact the race organisers nice and early, and make sure that we've definitely got our spots. All right, now a quick sip of water. Right. Another thing brand new that I'm working hard on is to find pretty much an automated way of rewarding members for referring friends. So we know we've got the shop, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can buy on the shop, and there will be even more. But what we're working on is a way of each of you having your own little referral link. So if someone was to ask you, hey, what's this Cheltenham Running Club about? You can actually grab your little referral link, send them a WhatsApp or a text message, or to any friend or family member. And if they use that when they go to buy their membership, even if it's just a trial membership, we want a reward automatically allocated to you. Just to try and encourage that. This year, well, I should say, in the past, I've spent, and most of you probably found the club through paid advertising. It's got really expensive, and we'd really like to make more use of social media and just members just sharing, what a great club we have here. So yeah, there'll be more on that soon. The members area will be updated. So sorry, it is called the members area. So most of you will have noticed on the website there is a nav item that says members area. When you clicked on that, it's over the last few months, it's kind of become, all of this stuff's become obsolete. I have given it a pretty good update recently, so I've taken off the opportunity to book in for runs for a start. We've got the discount, the decathlon discount button there, so if you click on that button, it will take you to a page on the club's website. And keep in mind that only members can access this area, right? You have to be logged in on the website to actually see what's on the page. So that is what Decathlon should be asking for. If you go and say you want your 10% discount, they should be asking to see that page. Okay, so that's how you'll access it. There are now more links, well, some links to the shop. There was only originally one link to the shop, but you also find buttons to your referral link, so you can find that really quickly from the members area, because we each have our own referral link. And club roles are on there, so there are still some outstanding roles that I'd love to get filled, and I will just mention them now. So I would love to have someone from the walking side and someone from the running side of the club, both taking on effectively a leadership development type role, where ideally they're thinking about how we can encourage more people to take on leadership roles within the club, obviously whether that's walking or running, because leadership's really important. I'm only one person, and the club wouldn't operate if it was just me. And we have got some great leaders, but especially for the walking side of the club, we could do with more to lighten the load on Chris and a few others who are doing a lot of leading at the moment. I'd also love to have a race reporter. So as I mentioned, we're looking to have lots of members attending running events. I don't know how many of you can remember, but we used to have Richard Dixon, who was fantastic at just writing up who was entered in events and giving a little bit of a report on how many people attended and what sort of results were achieved with that. I'd love to have someone else take that role on. And it wouldn't necessarily be that this person would have to write a report for every race that was on. It would more just be sending a message to anyone who did attend an event. Trev, would you mind letting me know how your race went? And it might be, Trev might just come back and say, I had a rubbish time, my 10K was the worst it's ever been, and Nick might say, I had the best event, that it was a really easy course, and I don't know what's wrong with Trev. So it's just that sort of thing, right? To try and get more out, like what happens at these events. I think that the more people hear about what's happening, the more inclined they might be to come along and try them out, because not every running event is uber competitive. In fact, a lot of them will have people walking the running events as well, right? So yeah, race reporter. If that captures anyone's interest, please do let me know. Also, photographers, right? So everyone's got a camera these days. You don't need to have a proper, SLR camera to take a photo these days. The more members we have taking pictures at events, even club runs or social events, the more we can kind of show off the club to members, but also to those looking in as well who are on the fence about coming along and trying things out. So it would be great to have people offer to just take pics whenever they want or whenever they can. And it doesn't have to be just one person, so don't worry about being the one photographer in the club. But yeah, that's it. That's all the roles that I had advertised that haven't been advertised. So that's only 3, which I think is pretty bloody fantastic, to be honest. So this year, I'd really like to have more of a health and fitness focus. It's not that we don't want the social side of the club. That's important, and obviously that we've got people in roles for that. But my background, my strength is really in health and fitness. So I've been a qualified fitness professional since 2001, and that's really what gets me excited. And you know, for those of you who've done any running technique work with me, that's also just everything coaching. I'd like to put more time into coaching and helping people spend less time off running and less time off walking due to illness and injury, right? Because no one likes being ill or injured, but it felt like everyone was ill in December, right? And I'm sure that practically all of our runners have had some sort of a niggle or a full-blown injury throughout the last year. So the more we can do with trying to educate members on how to prevent injury and improve their immune system and just general health, the more people are going to consistently attend events and enjoy their year. Shop products, so we now have club memberships on the shop. So most of you will have heard about the annual member discount we had. We've now got trial memberships on there as well, so again that's probably the most important thing that we'd love to have people refer people to, is that people can just sign up for a trial membership and that's them for 3 weeks, attending as many runs and walks as they can over that time. So that's now available on the shop. Unfortunately, we didn't set the shop up on the same website as the main website. So we have shop.cheltenhamrunningclub.co.uk and we have cheltenhamrunningclub.co.uk. All memberships are managed on the Cheltenham Running Club website, and obviously all the products are managed on the shop website. So there is a little bit of manual work we have to do. So if you buy a membership on the shop, don't expect it to instantly be visible when you log in to see the members area or your details on the club's website, right? I'm going to get lots of jiff about that. Shop products, we also have coaching programs. So for those that want to look at personal training or group personal training sessions, whether that be gym, up at the park, running technique, strength technique, that can all be purchased on the shop, and we'll often have sales and discounts for that sort of stuff as well. In the future, I'd like to have other things that help people achieve their health and fitness goals, so training aids, supplements potentially, and open to ideas if people would like to source things that maybe they find it hard to know which is the right thing to order or to buy themselves. My wife is a qualified nutritionist, and obviously I've been in the fitness industry a long time, so can recommend a lot of things and the places to get them, and we can obviously source those as well. The club kit, we finally now have size charts, okay, and we have had some complications with sizing of the kit, and I'm not, if I was to score the suppliers of kit in terms of their consistency with the garments, I'd probably give them about a 6 or 7 at the moment out of 10. That's definitely something that we're looking to work on. We had a bunch of t-shirts, men's t-shirts come in a V-neck this time, which was not expected, and actually I quite like it. Personally, I've tried it on, and I think it looks better on than it does when you're looking at the package. But it wasn't what we ordered, so we've gone back to them and said, look, what's going on here? So that's certainly something that we're looking to improve upon is what we're getting from these guys. But having size charts that you guys can actually bring up on the website and see, how long is the t-shirt, how wide are these sleeves? All the measurements are there, so you can, if you've got the time, get your tape measure out, compare it to some tops that you've already got, and that hopefully will prevent a lot of the issues we have with people buying a size and not being the right size, and in the worst case scenario, it means they've got to wait another 3-5 months to get the right size. Committee meetings, so I've talked about the availability request. That's been really helpful getting committee meetings going. As Dave mentioned earlier, we haven't had as many committee meetings last year as what we really should have, and what I'd like to have a lot more of those this year, and just really try and get that feedback coming through and make sure, but also have it the other way around as well, because there's a lot of things that, like I asked the running committee, I'm thinking about dropping the booking system for the running sessions, and does anyone have any objections to this? And the support was positive, and that just told me, right, okay, this isn't a bad thing to do. I'm not going to get a bunch of flack for doing something drastic. So it's really important, a two-way thing. Okay? It helps me, and also to filter down information. So if we've got a social event, you know that we've got WhatsApp, Facebook, email. There's loads of communication channels, but every one of us tries to tune out of one or two of those, right? So having members actually talk to one another, the walking committee members actually going to walks saying, hey, have you heard about this event we've got coming up? And obviously the running community, the same thing. They're just more people effectively just trying to spread the news and get engagement from the members to make more of their membership. Even building up to tonight, I had a few people say, oh, this completely passed me by. I didn't realise this was happening, even though I've put in loads of WhatsApp messages, Facebook messages and emails. So yeah, sometimes it is just word of mouth that spreads things fastest. We have the 5-day challenge. That's really all the new stuff that we have for this year, guys. I'm going to talk about this week now. It's our 5-day challenge week. We do it 3 times per year, only 3 times per year. It's like a last chance to, I guess, help onboard new people to the club with regards to new walkers and new runners, just sort of learning what's this club about, how do I make the most of it. So there's tasks that go out, encouraging people to download the Komoot app, for example, download Runkeeper, or make sure they've got some way of tracking their runs so that they can learn a lot more from this week than what we would in a typical week. In terms of how the club works and how you can make the most of your membership and get more of what you want out of it. So that means that tomorrow and Thursday's club runs will be from Prestbury Road playing field. Okay, really important, not the pump rooms and the Hewlett Arms. Again, we only do this 3 times a year, but we need that nice flat running surface, a consistent surface, and to know that no one's going to get lost on these sessions this week. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for coming along tonight. Your support means loads to me, and I'm really looking forward to making this another great year. So yeah, thank you again. We have a bunch of kit there if you want to do any shopping. There's kit to collect from some people if you have ordered kit. I literally only bought the stuff for people who had booked in. So if you didn't book in, I'm sorry, your kit might not be here. But also we've got 20% off everything, all the stock tonight. So that's not reflected on the shop at the moment. I haven't actioned that yet. But if you do want anything, you can order through Kathy, and we'll get an invoice your way instead. All right? Do we have any questions about anything that's happened tonight, or just in general with regards to the club? Yeah, so if anyone is in club kit and in a committee of some form, or even if you don't have club kit, but don't mind posing for a picture, then it would be great to get a photo, just so we can start putting images up on the website. So that's something we really want to do is get your faces on the club website so other members know who's in the committee, who are these leaders, who is this walk representative, this run representative, all the people in these roles. So Dave is going to deal with that, and I'll come and support shortly.
Just so everyone knows, the double roundabout in Prestbury is now open. I don't know if people noticed.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they just reopened it today. So if you're trying to think about getting to Prestbury and you want to go that way, you don't have to go all the way around. You can go that way now.
Great, thanks. It's huge.
I was wondering if there's any plans this year to try and join England Athletics, because it would be great to benefit from the discount entry to events.
Yeah. That's
It's part of the reason. I'll answer that one because it's very difficult. Connor and I worked together for a long time trying to do that, and that's why the constitution of the club is quite complicated. We're running a walking club constitution. English athletics are absolutely. I'm trying to think of a polite word. They're incredibly pedantic about what you have to do to become affiliated. We went through all the process, all the hoops, etc., and they turned us down. And we actually said to them, we have modelled the constitution on what you told us to do. We took out lots of irrelevant stuff. If you go onto their site and see their model constitution, it's many, many pages longer than ours. And what we did is we took our lead from Almost Athletes, their constitution, what they had done, and they had got affiliation. English Athletics turned us down and said, you've got to redo your constitution again. And to redo it would mean, it would be, instead of about 2 pages long, it would probably be 5 times that length. It would have lots of clauses and things. We made our decision not to do that because it just seems almost just a ridiculous effort to keep them satisfied, even though our sister club is affiliated and had to change this model constitution. I mean, we could have another go, Connor. It took a lot of work, and we were absolutely rigorous in what we did. And we've ended up with a constitution that is probably too complex for us, what we are. But it's nowhere near as complex as what they wanted it to be. I mean, we could have, Connor, but if there's a lot of push for it, then we'll do it. But well,
Yeah.
it just didn't work, did it?
No.
It's one of the most frustrating things I've ever done. And I come from other running clubs where the constitution was simple, we were affiliated. Somehow we upset English Athletics in our process. I don't know what it was.
I think the background, part of the reason that we got committees together in the first place was so we could put this application through to them, because we needed certain people in certain positions. So we did that, and we got the constitution already, and it didn't work. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But thanks for the question. But you know, I understand for you guys the big benefit of that is that race discount. So I get that, and that's part of the reason why we'd like to be able to look ahead to events and contact them and find out if we can get a discount for a bulk entry. So that's probably more of the route we're taking at the moment.
Thank you.
That's a far more viable approach than trying to go back to English Athletics.
Sure.
Because, I mean, particularly as we're a running and walking club, there is a bit of a clash there. And I just walked a marathon with my daughter. There was no offer of a discount if you were from English Athletics. You were affiliated. And in no way were they interested in that. Some runs do it, but the approach that I think would be better is with having a running events coordinator, is contacting them and saying, look, we're going to have 10 members there, can we negotiate a discount? Far more likely to happen, and far more likely to work for everybody in the club, rather than the few of us that do lots of runs.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks. Anything else, guys? No? Awesome. Thanks again for coming. We'll see you at a club run or walk soon.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.